It's a Tortor Druid.
Oh,
Yep.
nice. Very nice. Well,
Oh shoot! Not too soon.
this is
No, I'm not
extremely
on camera yet.
haphazard. Welcome, everybody, to the first episode of the Drunken Duck. We are.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh,
We're,
nice.
we are
Super fancy.
We are Stronghold
Hang on.
D&D.
Were we supposed to be drunk before we started this, or whilst we started it? I'm confused.
Experiences may vary. I'm definitely not drinking, but yeah, you're apple juice.
I'm drinking some
apple juice.
amazing coffee from from Australia.
Delicious.
And if anybody wants to roll an insight check on Tim, they can.
So let's see. There's lots of announcements. Man, we interacted with a lot of people today, or just over the past week. At a minimum, Magecraft Miniatures. There's a Chardalon right there. Just came out of the operating room. He's got about 6 months more of recovery. Wants to get to Hobby Lobby and stuff like that and do some patching. Let's see. We got Build with Titans, speaking with them today. They do some great work helping some folks out with disabilities with some of their products as well. And they build like these, they're like cards. And it's got a little device underneath it. You put the card on there and you can build walls everywhere. So it's super easy. Think of like a deck of cards with like a little piece of plastic that's got like 8 different directions you can put it. Boom, sit it down. You get like 30 of those. You can set them up. They're sending us some stuff. Who else we got? Who are we missing? RFI Prints.
RFI Prints,
Man.
yeah.
Just the Alliance. They're part of the Confederation of the Rhine Stronghold that we have right now. They've joined in.
He's in the chat. He's in the chat right now. Trent. He just said woo. So thanks to him.
Yeah. Oh, we got some. Okay, and we're gonna do some depravity, some shots, some strength potions. Let's see what else. Who are we missing? We'll bring it up to the whole chat.
They're probably not in here right now, but they are a local company here to me here in Orlando. They make dice trays. They're in making their own dice, which I've seen them. They've finally just kind of perfected making their own dice. They look really awesome. I can't wait to try to get that running. And oh my goodness, Slythepaw, who was our 200th follower, was the happy winner. Hey, yeah. So she's the winner of the
health potion,
common health potion that we got from them. So she's hopefully she can make
she's
it
a
in here
DM,
today.
so you need an HP as well. Like you need every once in a while someone slays your mini that you painted for like 15 hours, and then just still heard about that one. That's okay. If you guys would like to watch the last session, listening to Connor cry, that was.
I don't know what's happened.
Down.
We hit 200 followers, and something happened with Twitch, and I love it. So I see a lot of growth in the next year. I can't wait.
It's gonna be fun. Okay, we got backstories first. Want to just dive into it? All right. Yeah. Okay.
Stories? I didn't know we had to prepare anything.
Yeah. No. What? So first of all, we're going to be able to bring up Q&A. So if you have any questions out there, ask us and we'll discuss it. As long as it's definitely about 1D&D, which I know nothing about, but I have a lot of interest in. I'm sure it's going to be super complex and I won't be able to read it in a day. But we'll get to that when we get to it. But if anybody has any questions, pop it in there. Skylar/Manu/Rude Mike. We'll put it up there on the screen with your name or something, right? Can we do that?
Yeah, absolutely. I've got a running PowerPoint, because we're, whatever Air Force PowerPoint Rangers. We can do all that dumb stuff.
Yeah. And then we'll keep setting it. So today I can see the Twitch. I don't watch it while I play. because as an empath, if someone says caca poo poo pee pee or something, I'll read that and be like, the session's terrible. I quit. I'm the worst ever. And then I'll shut down and be distracted. So I couldn't do live stage performances. But who we have on the mic here? If let's see, top right quadrant, in keypad 2 there, we've got Pete/Connor, our just metagaming OP dungeon master buster. He's been a DM for like 30 years and he's really abusive. He's like an abusive father to me. It's just
But you love it, really.
Yeah.
But you love it, really.
Yeah. So, yep, he plays Connor, which is we're doing a John Wick with him. We call him Keanu Leaves, trademark. And then let's see, keypad 4, as we go around the clock, we've got Kara, who her book is on display right there. She's a real live published author times 2 books. That's real sweet, while doing a day job at the same time. So that's big brain energy. So if you can get the Pantheon series, KR Paul, she's on the Twitch, or she's on the Instas and the IGs, the Twitters, and the books of the face. And we tag her and everything too. The better DM, the Witcher DM, is over here. Is Aaron, DM Aaron. He crushes Sir Timothy's soul pretty much every session. Yeah. What I forgot, and
He sounds like a really good person I need to know.
You should play The Witcher. He's not big. He likes the table version. Yeah.
We have Skylar, so
No, I just want to know. I want to know other ways of crushing your soul, Tim.
don't give him the things that make him happy, which is plate armor.
That took me 7 sessions, I think, to get plate armor.
Yeah.
You don't dangle the loot in front of him all the time, and you keep hitting him with stuff and make him roll Constitution saves.
Died like 4 times.
You could always give him what he thinks is plate mail, but you add +2 to all your dice rolls.
You
Why? Why don't you teach me this technique? Is that like a DM? Is that the DM trick? DMs always get that +2. So I forgot.
I had
also Valanthi of Thar, a wood elf, in our Avernus campaign. But to get back on track, she's a diva, right? She left a royal family-ish in
there's a whole you let an author do a backstory, man. Like I think my backstory was like 2 pages long,
By all
single
means,
space.
tell everybody on the stream your backstory because they would all love to hear about it.
Yeah.
Okay, so there I was. I was a princess in a minor house of 3 brothers. And when I was writing this, I was like cackling to myself because I looked in like the elven languages that Tolkien wrote, and I found brick, wood, and straw. You can see where this is going. So 3 brothers, they run this kingdom together. She comes from the house of straw, so Thar apparently translates to straw. And as time goes on, the brothers fight, and the House of Brick essentially takes over. Now, a couple of generations later, she's like the 47th in line to the throne, but this is kind of very Game of Thrones style, in that everybody's trying to kill everybody else. And so she kind of goes, you know what, F this noise. I have to be held to the standard of being royalty, and the scraping and the bowing and the curtsies and the polites, and I have to be, like all well dressed. And she goes, screw that, I'm done. I'm never going to be queen anyway, and I'm tired of people trying to kill me. I'm going to go off and be a ranger and hang out in the forest for like 20 years. And oh, by the way, these werewolves that have been, huffing and puffing and trying to blow down my house, I'm just going to hunt them for funsies. And so she goes out into the woods for 20 years and happens to run into this crazy turtle-shaped dude and all of his wild buddies, and gets sucked into their adventure and like murders a dude on the first day. So right, like really just getting into it.
And you died in hell.
You just sit back and go, man.
And then I caused trouble in hell. And sorry, not sorry.
Yeah, literal hell. I'm in literal hell right now.
Yeah, it's pretty terrible. I should describe it. But we forgot, and then we got Skylar /Manu /Rude Mike, who is our OBS director extraordinaire, doing all the quads and all the things.
And business director.
Yeah.
And business director. I'm key grip. Yeah. I'm the lighting expert. So if this is fantastic in here, it's because it's me. You'd tell I have a stream of consciousness for the amount of dolls I have out in front. I was like, no,
They're not dolls, they're action figures.
Exactly. It's funny, my boss came in here last week and I was like, well, that's what you know about me now.
At some point in time, I'm going to walk this laptop into my front room because when I moved into this house.
Live your best life.
Oh, yeah. Nerd, but classy.
Yeah. So
Okay.
Manu. I guess. Shoot. Where do I start?
Day one when it was called the Corona, I think. When this crown was coming to kill everybody, and we're like, I've been fine. I've had the flu before. We're gonna be all right. And then, boom, we're all playing Dungeons and Dragons for like 90 days, locked down in our house.
Yeah, man, we played like 4 to 5 days a week.
I remember we met you in a coffee shop in Fandolin because you came in. They were womping and stomping after Cragmire Keep. They just finished Cragmire Keep.
Me and Henry popped in, after y'all's first session. Manu basically came in off of a pirate ship. He was exiled from his own island in Chuth, and because so if you don't know turtles, they grow up and in a solitary life. Parents come together, they have a kid, and then they die. And I was born a barbarian. I couldn't control my own rage, and I killed my neighbor in a fit of rage. Was exiled, and in a bunch of I ended up in a pirate ship, the Cthulhu's Revenge. Ended up being the navigator there, where I could channel my rage as a barbarian there, and I got tired of that life and ended up in Fandolin. You'll have to watch the rest of the series to learn what happens to Manu, but that's how I ended up in the group, and it's been. I never thought I'd actually get to play this character. I built it while I was at work. And it's just the fact that I got to play it. I'm stoked, and I'm so happy where we are today.
I was pretty nervous when he came at me, and I was a dungeon master for like 14 minutes. And you were like, I would like to be a turtle barbarian. I was like, don't know what that is? Approved. As long as you'll play, and we can have a fourth member, I'm totally fine with it.
I get a text. Oh, so you rolled the dice, do you? Yes, I do.
Yeah.
You want it? By all means, let's do it.
Yeah, let's do this. Yeah. And then who else we got? We got Epione. She's working 12-hour shifts at the old Good Samaritan, so she's up there snoozing. We got Henry. He's with his family. We got Kygon Rain. He's another barbarian that's really giving me the business right now, alongside Manu. Campaign recaps. Are we in there?
Yeah,
are we just running it? We have a question yet?
We are here. This is just a.
Well,
yeah. Oh, you got something?
Well, question to the room, because we all talk about like Dungeons and Dragons. So how did everybody actually come to Dungeons and Dragons? Because everybody has their own individual story.
Yeah.
Sometimes personal, sometimes like somebody's going, hey, here, clickety clackities, roll them and enjoy this because this is amazing.
Let's start with Pete, because he'll be like, well, it was 1943.
Back in the day when it was
Queen Elizabeth just took the crown.
I literally just took the book from World
War II. We were in the tunnels during the Blitzkrieg, and we decided to roll some dice.
That was a reasonably good accent there. Thank you. Well done.
You're welcome.
Yes. No, it was.
I just love rolling with my homies.
It was late 80s when I got into Dungeons and Dragons. I'm 46, and I was about 11, 12, and me and a couple of friends from school that were the more nerdy type, should I say, happened to be in a shop with some comics and stuff, and we saw some, and I started, and this is how old it is, I started on the original D&D red box set. So just Dungeons and Dragons, the red box set was what I started on.
Arthur was one of the guys.
Yeah. I started on that. And we played that for a little bit, and it got a bit confusing because none of our group knew anything about it. And to surprise the young people in this world, the internet wasn't a thing then. You couldn't just Google or look up or YouTube or find things. It was if you had the books, that was it. And we went then on to AD&D. Then later on, I went to university and I was in the role playing and board game society and ended up running that for 2 or 3 years. And if I put in in Discord, there's a load of my pictures of my old books. I've probably got circa and this is ignore the new edition, 5th edition stuff. I've probably got 60, 70 books related to all different various RPGs from 2nd, 3rd, and all different versions of different other stuff around there. Like I've got Rifts, I've got GURPS, I've got RuneQuest, I've got Call of Cthulhu, I've got the Vampire the Masquerade, the original 2nd and 5th editions. I've got quite a wide spectrum of games.
We met in Neverwinter.
Yeah, I met Tim through Neverwinter, where
What character was I?
you were a goody two.
Digital.
You were a But the reason you knew me was I wrote the original Paladin guide for Neverwinter that was used by all the people that actually played all the Paladins. So me and the guy
came and cleaned it out by the time I showed up, and he was bored of it by the time we got to
yeah, well, we wrote. Well, the thing is, I started on Neverwinter, and people had there's like every MMO out there, you've got the tank classes, you've got the DPS classes, you've got the support classes, etc., etc. And people were playing Paladins wrong. And I'll be perfectly blunt, they were playing them. There were 2 tank classes. One was a Great Weapon Master, which was used the shield, and the other one was the Paladin, and they played and operated completely different. They both had shields, but that was where and people were playing them wrong. So no one liked Paladins because they were useless. Me and Zeke, which is another friend from Neverwinter, basically went through and nerded the whole class and wrote the whole guide of how to do the Paladin guide. And then, funnily enough, Paladins then were like, oh, they're really good. People want these in the party now. And then I played that for about 5, 6 years. And I think at one point, when they were doing stuff, I was top 5 Paladins on the server. So I played lots of those sort of games. And then
I was playing for years. Thanks to you.
Tim joined. And and that's
Hey,
it's
Pete,
basically
Adamus is asking who you were in Neverwinter. What your name was.
My Paladin's name is Valen.
Yeah. And Zeke was I remember Zeke Scott, remember? Zeke Scott from Australia.
I'm trying to remember his name. I can't remember it.
Yeah. Because I was bracketed by the Aussie and the Brit trying to learn how to Paladin.
And let's just say, maybe the Aussie was a little bit more blunt.
Yeah.
By about that much.
Just a little bit more blunt.
Aussie.
Yeah.
His profile was Darth Vader. You know what I mean? Yeah, it was pretty aggressive.
It was quite funny because we used to run. I still run it actually, but I don't actually do it that much now. But there's a Paladin group on Facebook which me and Zeke started.
Oh, our Neverwinter.
Yeah, Neverwinter. Yeah.
Admin.
Oh, did we? Oh well, what a shame.
Kara, what got you into D&D? When was day one?
I mean, if I had my way, probably as a 5-year-old. So believe it or not, like normally there's that pipeline. There's the I played Magic the Gathering. I got pulled into tabletop. I got pulled from tabletop into LARPing. Yeah. Right, like that's the pipeline, right?
You've lost me now. That's it. You're a LARPer, right? I got disappeared.
So here's the problem. I was a LARPer first. Because I kept trying to find people to play D&D with, but every time I'd find anybody, they're like, "Oh, mid-campaign right now. We can't take anybody. And at one point in time, my alter ego with the legal name was possibly stationed up in Minot, North Dakota. There's not a lot of people in Minot, and there are not a lot of people willing to admit that they are nerds in Minot. So if you're going to be in Minot and you want to hang out with other nerds, it's basically like you hang out with the LARPers or you wait 2 years until a D&D campaign opens up. So I became a LARPer first. I blame my now ex-husband for that one. Thank you. I was sold on it through, hey, you can wear cool costumes and there's acting. And as somebody who was an actor and a singer for a long time, like I was like, okay, yeah, no, cool. I love costumes. That's fantastic. And so we did that, and I realized that I really cannot hang out with LARPers. Like, even I'm not like that nerdy, believe it or not. I found my threshold. And then when I finally got here to Florida, I had one of my very dear close friends is like, hey, we're about to start a campaign. Do you want to play? Yes, absolutely. Hallelujah. He's like, whoa, calm down. Chill. And so that's how I got pulled in. Unfortunately, that group has kind of dissolved at this point in time. So when Tim just happened to like message me at like just the right day, and I think I pushed you off for like almost a month. But for those of you who don't know, it was a heck of a year.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was. Tim, I'll be really honest, knowing how bad that last surgery was.
We suck,
right? Knowing how bad that last surgery was, I wasn't sure if I was going to die or not, and I didn't want to commit to something if I was going to be dead. So, like, little grain of salt there. But I didn't die, and now I'm here and I'm playing with you guys and love it. Yes, I'm gonna go. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Skylar, when was day one?
Well, I started with Magic the Gathering when it started in like '93, so I was what 13.
Oh, really? Is that old?
So you actually have alpha cards, do you?
Have it, in the present tense? No, had.
Because I started on revised, and I've still got about 8,000 cards.
Yeah.
So like Black Lotus is so strong, it's an alpha card.
Alpha, Beta, Unlimited, and Revised were like Alpha, Beta, Unlimited were the first 3 sets, and they came out 93, 94. Revised was technically the 3rd edition, what they called 3rd edition Revised. That didn't have Black Lotus in it, correct?
No, it didn't, but it did have.
But all the dual lands and all that stuff.
I've still got 10 or 12 dual lands.
I hate you.
And when I looked up the price of them, I was like, oh dear God, they're like in a Brit money here, so you have to do some conversions. Brit money, they're about £300 a card.
Yeah, it's like $500 a piece. Yeah, depending on which one you like. I think a Taiga is like the cheapest one you can get out there.
Oh, I got Saltfield. I got the marshes. I've got the mountain and blue and red. So I got the
nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Honestly, I was like, oh my God, how expensive are they?
Yeah, it's nuts. Anyway, so I started playing Magic with my friends in junior high, and then I played D&D with them on we didn't do anything crazy. We just did dungeon crawling. Like, we just want to go kill shit. So we create
one shots. It's a bunch of one shots.
Like we
I can't do a one shot. Like, just go play Catan. You know what I mean? Go play Hero Quest.
Like we would go camping. Like I live in Central Florida here. We'd go take a canoe out to an island in the middle of the river and camp for the weekend, and we'd play D&D. Like dumb teenager stuff. So
was that with or without alcohol? With or without alcohol?
Then without.
What?
Yes. We do not support the consumption of alcohol or cigarettes or whatever Twitch doesn't want us to support here.
So that was then, and then I didn't play at all until this. So that was probably 30 years.
That's the same way. What was your day one?
Oh Jesus. So I was always very much adjacent to a lot of role playing games. So through my friends in elementary school, they were really big into Rifts Robotech, Mech Warrior, all those like really classic RPGs that were outside of the whole entire D&D spectrum. So got that introduction there with D&D kind of always being on the outside. And I started playing 3.5 for a couple of sessions. I felt it was way too slow. Like I was like, man, this is stupid. Like I rolled to hit a skeleton. I'm like, I'm a paladin. I should be able to hit the skeleton. Why am I not being able to hit the skeleton? And why is it taking so long? So I kind of deviated away from that in 3.5. And following that, somebody introduced me to Shadowrun, said it's a lot faster, which it is and it isn't. It's a lot of D6s, and I had to have somebody like literally just hold my hand through it because I'm like, how many 6s do I roll? And they're like 30. I'm like, can I borrow some?
That's an ancient red dragon.
Because it's all based off of like 6s and 5s are considered like criticals, and based off of how many 5s and 6s you roll it depends on the success ball. Anyway, so started doing that actually in a comic book shop that's local to Washington.
Thanks,
in Gabby's Olympic Arts and Comics, which is an amazing place. If you guys are in the Lacey area, or
just started following.
Yeah, just go down there. It's amazing. Gabby's amazing. Her husband's amazing. The whole place is amazing. Go down there. It's amazing. They do not sponsor the show, but she is an amazing person.
I don't think they sponsor so much. You know what I mean? They're existing. We're existing. You know, it's a Scotland, England environment. If we go to war, you guys want to come with us, or you don't have to. No. I don't know. I am speaking on behalf of your island. My bad. It's a Montana-Idaho relationship. I don't fucking know.
I think Idaho wants to be Montana.
I think, well, we're not going to go there. And then we bring the Death Star. And if anybody attacks a substation, the Death Star shoots the substation, everything's fine.
But started going down the Shadowrun thing. I ended up running into somebody who helped me out. And I ended up helping him out with like running fitness courses that he had and meeting a bunch of other friends. They kept talking about D&D, and then I had these really great story ideas, so I started talking to them about like, hey, I'm really thinking about this to be a great D&D campaign. And he was the guy that I was talking to was friends with Travis Woodall, who does a lot of stuff for D&D's Adventure League. And talking with him, he's like, hey, I'll talk to my friends, see what he thinks. And then was like, hey man, just do your own campaign. Why don't you run it?
Is that Adventures League up in Seattle?
Well, Adventure League is period. Like
yeah. There's a big one up in Seattle, and I logged in once. I was like, this sounds like a good idea, and I went in there at the wrong year in Seattle. It was just like anger. It was straight, and I was like, well, boop, boop, boop. I'm like, I'm good. I'm good.
And Travis is also the paralegal who works in the on base of McCord.
Oh,
yep.
Okay.
Amazing guy. Helped me out through a lot of stuff, and it was kind of weird how we crossed paths. Said, hey, go to D&D Beyond, start doing this. And I was like, 2018, this is a deployment. Might as well. Bought the whole thing, started reading it, and then lost one of my dudes and ended up diving into it as a way of escapism, and now here we are.
Well, that finished on us.
No, I must admit, I agree with you. I agree with you on the sort of the comments and stuff. It's the thing that I found, because I played Shadowrun, and I totally agree. The amount of dice was ridiculous. Was like, what the hell? But the thing that I like about the evolution now that of role playing games in general, evolution. But
aluminium laboratory.
Do you put the evolution in the boot? Just kidding. Go ahead. Sorry, let me.
No, I put it in the trunk.
Yes. Good.
Okay, so but there's the distinction now, which I quite like, is when I started back in the long, if you weren't a nerd, you couldn't play a role-playing game.
Yeah,
because it was the level of entry points you needed to play any of the games from the 80s and 90s was you need to know math, you needed to know English, you needed to know how to read, how to do all this stuff, and to read big, thick, and you had to be a STEM student, basically, because you had to be able to dissect a really thick load of books and cross-reference all the stuff you wanted to do to make it work. The creativity was really hard because you had to know all these rules to do it.
Well, yeah, and then you also had all the additional stuff. So, like with riffs too, like you had different novels and books about but half the time I just poured over the art. That was the biggest draw for me, was the art, which was amazing.
I've got up on my wall at the moment on the sort of top of, I've probably got 30 riffs books that I've read 3 of them and used the rest as reference material just to look up a table, because that's all you could do back then, was go, table 6 gives me a +2. There you go, boss, I'll do that. And it was hard, it was clunky, it was really, and what I class those as, they were like the role-playing systems, as in you rolled your dice to get it to do anything, and you had to understand your dice and the pluses and minuses in massive detail.
Great to me.
I mean, now you've got a bit more creativity in it, which is I quite like.
Yeah, which is why I think 5th edition hits hard with a lot of people and makes it a lot more accessible too.
Yeah,
that was one of the biggest things. It's like playing, because I played Pathfinder 1st edition with one of my good friends, Kevin McGrew, he's the one who originally ran the 3.5 campaign for me, and started playing with him on Pathfinder, just trying to understand things, to see how role-playing games work when I was still testing the waters again. And a lot of times I'd ask a lot of math, because even with Pathfinder, they tried to help you out with their character sheet, which Pathfinder's amazing too. It's just 3.5.5.5.
Yeah.
It's just the next evolution of what would have been 3.5 before they went to 4th edition. But it's still amazing, and there is a place for it, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, no, I agree.
Back to Pathfinder and having to deal with the math and hoping that I'm correct.
The thing I found with a lot of it is, and what I've come to now is I like rules because they help, but I also like the options to do stuff outside and play with what you've got. Because the problem you had back in the earlier days was you either had very strict rule-based systems like GURPS, Riffs, RuneQuest, D&D. They were all very rigid and math-based, and they were very good if you were that way inclined. But you then had the newer ones, which were like the White Wolf-esque type games that were
Vampire the Masquerade,
extremely rules light.
Mm-hmm.
You only had some D10s to roll, and it was dead easy. It was a really uncomplicated system to play. However, it relied heavily on adjudication and conversation with the DM, which is a good thing.
I was going to say, my only experience with Vampire the Masquerade was with a group of people at my high school that straight up met on Saturday nights behind a strip mall, dressed up in like Matrix style stuff. There was like a coffee shop, that was right there. And that's where they met, and they played Vampire the Masquerade. That was my introduction, and probably the last time that I ever saw it, because it was really weird.
No, I agree. No, I totally agree. And that's the bit. Well, the thing is, no, that's the bit I was getting to. The bit that I'm saying on this, which is the amusing thing on this, was if you had a group of, like us, for instance, now, we've played together for a fair amount of time. We know we're not going to take the huge amount of piss, even though Tim thinks we do. We've got a group we can play. The problem I found with Vampire the Masquerade was if you were like you knew the DM really well and you were on the same sort of level, it was very easy to subconsciously, it was never done generally on purpose, I was aware of, but it was, you'd have a favoritism in the group and go, I'll let this person do loads of stuff. He's amazing. He's great. Look at this. But you'd have another person that wasn't quite as confident or quite as assertive that would get completely overlooked in the whole game. And it's like, and because the rules were very loosey-goosey and you could get away with that, it was very hard to have a fun experience across the whole group. You might have 2 or 3 people in the group doing fantastically, but the rest would be sat there going, well, there's no point me offering to come out of something to do because it'll never happen.
That was so that was my experience with LARPing. It was all the White Wolf Camarilla stuff, and yeah, absolutely. So you had vampire, you had werewolf, you had whatever the fairy one, like mage, I think was, and like one more. So I think there were like four primaries.
changeling, and mage.
Changeling. And so I DM'd for, I think, mage for a little while. And for vampire, the rules were fairly well set, but yeah, you could absolutely sway your DM consciously or unconsciously. And if the DM's wife, by the way, might have been on lithium because she was bipolar, whether she was having a manic day or a depressive day, would absolutely railroad the group. Like hashtag true story, 100%. Like I won't name names, but it made some days really bad. Like there was
You're like, that was me.
like, there was literally a session where she just decided that she had had enough fun and like was going to cause drama. She's like, I have to go to the ER right now. You guys are stressing me out too much. We're like, babe, did you take medicine today? No. Okay, honey, go take your lithium, lay down, come back in 30 minutes, and let's try this again. But of course, her husband
We all dressed up. I didn't come here with
Yep.
this.
And her husband being, I swear to God, I think she had like crinolines and like petticoats and like this giant fucking skirt at the time. Like, baby, you have sensory issues and you're freaking out because you have all this crap on your waist right now. Like, go take your lithium, lie down. But because of the way, like, as Connor said, right, like as the way the rules were written, that DM just kind of has to roll with it. I do love the way D&D is just a slight bit more
That's
tight with the rules, right?
And that's exactly what I like. It's like you've got some freedom, but there's some quite wide rails that you've got to be within. And it's a
sonnet, right?
Yeah.
There are strict rules that you have to follow. There is a pattern to it. But at the same time, despite the strict rules, you can tell the story that you want, and everybody knows what to expect and where to chime in. Versus, like, the White Wolf stuff was free form poetry, and who the fuck knows what you're gonna get. Like, it might be snaps, and it might be like off the stage. Sorry.
You could have, as a musician as well. It's like being dumped in front of a. By the way, we're having a jamming session. Great. What we're playing? We're playing modern jazz. Okay, so I can play whatever I want, whenever I want, and it works. Yeah, is that right? And I go, yeah, thank you.
So here's a question from the chat, and I don't really know what the answer to this is because I don't know that we've.
I'll take it.
Really tried this. So Neo Soul God, who is a new follower and new subscriber. Thank you. What has been your experience in reaching? What has been your experience in reaching players of color in our gaming?
I don't know. I think
in this game,
I advertise it all day long to anybody whatsoever, and it's just timing with folks. It's always just timing. D&D is timing.
Yeah, I think it's also just like not looking at things as that and just inviting everybody in to just in it too. Like if somebody's like, hey man, I want to play D&D, you're like, cool, come along. Yeah. Because it very much, and it's been touched upon, especially with like how 5th edition is that it's an agreement between the DM and the players. Say, hey man, this is the world I want to do. This is everything. You have input into it, and we're shaping a story and doing everything like that. If there's anything that you feel is negative or anything like that, please let me know in the moment.
Is that the session 0 stuff?
And we'll pull back immediately. But it can happen at any point in time within D&D.
I've ran multiple games over the course of my years of played, and I would put my hand up and say honestly, it's been the majority, sort of, to be honest, my age, white male that played this game. That was the thing that it was, and I'll be perfectly honest. However, when I went to university and in different areas I've played in, there was more sort of diversity of sexes and races. And to be honest, I've never had an issue with inviting anyone to join those groups to play. The hardest thing I found, to be honest, was to where that normally people advertise these things. It always used to be either on a Facebook group or a local meetup type group or your local gaming store, was who was actually viewing those content. And I can't force anybody to view where those things are going to be posted.
Well, and I think one of the things
in this chat, Mirren is out there right now. That's
That's true.
right?
That's so true.
Mirror, get in this chat. Get in here. That answers the question right there. Just jump into Discord with your full beard or whatever you got going on in your pajamas and get in here. Yeah.
Well, and so one of the things, right, like is so on Twitter, one of the things that I'm kind of famous for right now is the fact that I'm very, very out. Probably more so than I am with the like day job. You know, like I do that kind of because I want the people in my day job to feel comfortable if they would otherwise not be. But I would imagine that as I'm posting some of these links, you're probably reaching a different demographic than you might have otherwise reached. And it really comes down to like, you just kind of have to like, you have to have that one person with an in into like other groups, you know, that knows other people and like can spread that out, because otherwise like your friends are probably mostly looking like you. And so that's probably the group you're getting to.
Hey, Tim,
So,
Mirren is in the chat right now.
I know.
Oh, you did see that. Okay, good. Okay.
Who wears pants is his never winner. So like when the crown of Connor went to Zeke in Neverwinter, and then I'm just gonna say, Zeke, if you're out there, I just ripped it off Zeke's head and I face pushed him off to the side because he was a terrible paladin. Yeah. And then that's what Mirren did to me. He was just like, quickly he learned the rules way faster than I did. Yeah.
Close out. Like, how did you get into D&D? Like, what was your?
There was this, like a plastic electronic Dungeons and Dragons game that had LED characters that went on it. Pete, do you remember this thing? It was like 1983 or 84. It was like a little square, and it was Dungeons and Dragons, and it was like a
Hero Quest?
No. It was like this big. It was like a little plastic board, and you could move pieces around, and it was like some sort of electric Dungeons and Dragons thing. That was my first experience with D&D in terms of like Gygax got rich or whatever, and then they started making everything into Light Bright. And this was something that kids or my brother got. Adamus is out there in the universe. You remember this, Adamus? So there's like anyways, it was a Dungeons and Dragons game, and then I got into Hero Quest, that was 91 though. And then whenever I was in 8th grade, I finally met a group of friends. I was in a school that wasn't like hyper misogynist. You had to play all seasonal sports. Like I left this one school that was like the Gladiator Thunderdome Ludus, and I got to go, hang out with some other folks. Woo, some Woodkey. We ended up playing so I remember King Arthur being in our monster manual, and I also remember it was a hodgepodge of different rule books, and we all threw it together. So I don't know, it was definitely version 1, regular old Dungeons and Dragons, and then it was all the way to I think it was Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. Nope, that was in college when I got Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. So whatever. It was like regular D&D, and then what was the second one? Just, I don't know. The one with a red goblin guy on the front of it.
The statue?
The statue with the jewel in the eye, where the rogues popping up? Yeah.
Portal. Or no, it's not. That's a
mage.
Starts with a G or something like that. The creature, because it's a demon that's supposed to be.
Yeah. Anyways, whatever that one is, and I'm sure he's got it. And then Baldur's Gate, the PC game, brought me back into that in the late 90s. I got really into Baldur's Gate. Then Neverwinter came out, and it was real clunky. It was like, everybody's going to join in this thing. It's going to be multiplayer, but it was super clunky. It was
not at all like World of Warcraft.
Yeah, everything. You got it? You got the book? I know he does. You got it? Yeah. Okay. So we had that one. We had that one, and then there was another one with the jeweled eye monster. Hang on. It ended up being in Neverwinter as well.
Might have it, but I haven't got my AD&D books lying around actually.
Don't worry about it, buddy.
But there's the
Shadowrun. Ooh.
Which version is that?
third.
Okay. Yeah, I think I stopped at second.
But anyways, Baldur's Gate stepped me through a whole bunch of things. I've always been about paladins and that sort of stuff, chasing it around. And then finally, like I did a bunch of first-person shooter stuff that Neverwinter came out after Skyrim, because Skyrim kind of died off. Elder Scrolls Online, in my opinion, was not very good at multiplayer. You'd have to wait right outside the cave, right, in this map, and some dude that could one-shot the monster would like run in real quick, crush it, and then run back out, and then we like reset that little cave for like 15 minutes. You'd be like, that sucks. And you'd have to just like either jump maps. That thing, Player's Handbook. What is that one?
It looks like it's Player's Handbook for Advanced D&D.
So yeah.
I think I got that. Let me just have a go for find. 2 seconds.
Yes, signed by J.R.R. Tolkien. But anyways,
Guy signed it. His name's Gary Gygax. I don't know who the hell that guy is.
I don't want to take up all the chat. I get sick of hearing my own voice sometimes. But like, so Baldur's Gate stepped into Neverwinter. When Neverwinter kicked in and everybody got into that, I kind of stopped. And then Neverwinter PS4 came out when, after EOS, got into that real heavy. And then I realized I just need to start playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Did you ever
flat out?
Did you ever play D&D online?
So I started looking it up, and here's what pushes me off about that: nerd bullies.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I started getting into stuff, and I started I would like watch and assess a dungeon master, and I'd be like, this dude wants to be an emperor. Like this dude or dudette wanted, like, it just didn't look comfortable. And that's where I was
like
like,
the
I want to be a DM. I'm an empath. I need to be a DM. I can't be a player character. I want everybody to be happy. I want to be fair to every single person. You know what I mean? And I want people to want to come to the table, and I don't want to rule over them. See?
I want them to get the rule.
Like, I don't know what your neighborhood is in Bath, but we are, like, apparently you're locked inside of a temple, and you guys have to play Dungeons and Dragons. Because if I was you are, Connor, you'd never come back to play.
It's not being mean. You've got to give the players what they want, but it's that classic one of, do you give them what they want or what they need? There is a difference.
Did you want to be hiding under an infernal war machine last week?
That's fun. It happened.
Scratching at the earth like the Battle of the Bulge for more AC. You're like, if I go 3 inches farther, do I get one more AC?
Did you want? I can ask you that question. Did you want Marduk to die easily?
His name is war.duke@gmail.com. He's a real.
We call him.
Yeah, but if you turn that W upside down, it's Marduk, and it's great.
Yeah.
And
he died.
It's not going to be a joke.
He died. He died.
So, by the way, are we staying family friendly on this chat today? Because otherwise, I have an interesting comparison to make.
I think we're R on this thing, aren't we? We're above. We're swearing.
So,
Yeah, we are
I think that you
swearing.
could
It's fine.
You could probably draw some parallels to a certain other community that has a very hierarchical structure. And the question is always, do you give the person below you what they want or what they need?
Let me just do all the words. Yeah.
Are you trying to say?
I'm trying to be very careful just in case, right?
Are you trying to say? Do you think Tim's so is Tim a top or a bottom?
So Tim's saying that he's an empath. I think Tim is a service sub.
Yeah,
I think that you're definitely you're a masochist dom, Connor.
Yeah, show up every session with a choke ball and a zipper mask.
Oh no.
But I'm just saying, the Venn diagram of people that play D and people that do another D in the name, it's almost a circle.
Yeah, it's that classic one of when you type in on Google and you type in Dungeon Master, you got to love the FBI trying to figure out what type of Dungeon Master you are.
You know what? I love that aura of mystery. I want people to question that.
I got Krista that shirt yesterday and posted on IG. I'm sleeping with the Dungeon Master, and then I posted it on Instagram because I didn't have 2 cups of coffee, and then I was like, oh, That's why there's 6 million likes. I was just like, oh, weirdos. It was like,
You saw my post about the body count, right? Like,
dude, a guy, another guy, dude. And I was like, oh, come on. Ah, jeez. Yeah.
I'm just saying, body count
if
has
you-
way too many associations with it right now.
And Tim, if you think that you posted that and you didn't realise that until afterwards, we all know you're lying. We passed our insight check. We know what you're like. But no, it's the classic thing of how many times have you played a game and it's like the players go, I want this, and you're like, I've had players at level 1 go, I want plate mail, and you're like, no, because the whole game's not actually designed to do that, because otherwise the balance of the group doesn't work.
Plate mail fascist over here.
Yeah, we can play this game.
Level 4.
Yeah, you got it. Just on the
That's actually still quite. To be honest, plate mail at level 4 is still quite a low level to get plate mail in
Shut
5th ed.
up, Connor. Go away.
Tim, let's rewind this a minute, and I could start
We
calling
found
out
our
my.
top in the fucking Dungeon Master world.
No, I could. When you were learning to be a DM, how often did you talk to me on Facebook?
Why do we got to go there? Daily minutes? Minutesly?
Right?
I'd be in session being like, what's a DC for a wizard? Is it... and you'd be like, it's on page 246 of the... Aw, those are the days.
But yeah, no, I totally agree with it. But it's every single DM I've ever talked to, and hopefully the people that have done this in the group, the first time you ever play and you're a DM and you go through things, you always do what used to be referred to as the Monty Hall campaign of give the players everything they want. Because you go, I'm making these people happy. Look, I'll give them all this stuff. And then after about a year of playing, you go there and go, my God, it's really hard to balance this. I can't get it. They either get one-shotted or they don't, or they walk through it. How do I do? And you go through it, and you go through the whole thing of trying to figure it out. And you talk to a few other people, and they go, "Oh, what did you give your players?" And you go, "I gave
All
them
the things.
the legendary item of."
I gave Jermaine the Sun Sword. Level 4. And you're like, what are you doing? Like, what do you do? Remember that shit? And you're like, you're gonna regret this. I'm like, yeah, it's fantastic. Everything's awesome. Oh.
Yeah, I think I showed up to the group and Mirren had
He
the Sun
already
Sword.
had it.
He already had it. and I want to say that was what when me and
Because you leave Fandolin at level 5, so it was way before that.
yeah, so me and Henry joined, and it was like session 3, maybe.
Sunblade, yeah.
Sunblade.
Jermaine, just get in the chat. Brush your teeth. Get in the chat.
Yeah. And it was because Tim was going, I've given this item, and I was like, what level are they? And I was like, oh, about level 3. I was like, you've done what? And
Yeah.
I was like,
Defeat a banshee.
He sent me this chart of when you should receive, and it's like a wondrous item or something. And I was like, oh, but you said make everybody happy. Too happy.
Yeah.
Too happy.
Yeah, but it's the classic thing of the problem you find, and this is the bit I've always had trouble with. If you've got a group of 5 or 6 people, and you've got one that knows, goes, actually, I want this item. If you give that person that item, they suddenly become amazing at that one thing using that item, and the other party members go, I'm used to be working at a similar level.
Yeah.
There's now no point me trying to hit these people because he'll one-shot them.
What about a tattoo crossbow force bolts?
That was your fault.
No. Wasn't my fault, or were you, like the captain of HMS Victory, and I'm rowing to you? You know what I mean? And I'm like,
Ask yourself one thing, though. Why?
You're like, I don't know. I'm gonna be humble. Do you mind if I have a tattoo that turns into a crossbow and it shoots force bullets?
Is that why you do that? I didn't know that.
What's that?
No, what?
Throwing and
That's
throw
how
or what?
that's how Connor does what he does.
He's like, "Do you mind?" And then when he showed up, he's like, "Well, since I'm a level 10, right? Because you came in a level 10 or something." No.
Yep.
Yeah,
11.
because it was right after Ravenloft. Yep. So, which we played a lot of campaigns.
I think what we basically did is I went through with Tim, and Tim said, "I've got all these players." I went, "Brilliant, what have you got?" Went through all the stuff with them.
I was like, "Get in here!"
And Tim went, "Are you free to this? What, come and join?" I said, "Yeah, I can help." I said, "What characters haven't you got?" I said, "Look, what haven't you got in the party?" And
he
they
took
went, "You
all
went through
of
and." Oh no, you didn't have a cleric, you didn't have a ranger, you didn't have a rogue. So I went, "I will come up with something that does both of them."
Oof.
And that's basically how Connor got created.
Yeah, he pulled from his vault this script from Reddit that he's had. He's like, "The Black Lotus."
The interesting
one thing that I shouldn't give you. Goddamn, I rolled random loot and got an elemental ring of stone. And you
the
have
earth elemental,
asked
the
for
earth
that
elemental ring.
thing.
You
Yeah.
gave me that. I didn't even ask for that. You gave me that.
But what I didn't understand is you were like, "Are you sure?" And I was like, "Yes."
I did. So
It makes stone elemental monsters. Who cares? Who's gonna use that?
Zoop, zoop, zoop,
I'm a big
zoop.
stupid face.
as to the other DM here, you get this. Imagine if you had a character that had a natural burrow speed.
Yeah.
So you've got anything that's normal earth or rock or stone, I can just phase through it.
It's the worst.
As long as I don't stay in it in the end of the turn, I can just go in, come out. So ground, I can hide. I can go in the ground, hide, come out, shoot people. And he's like,
That's being a DM and having to make Earth weird now.
No.
It's like,
It's full of purple worm and it's swallowed.
yeah. Wow.
and then it was like the next dungeon we went into is like it's all
It's
metal.
made of iron. The walls are made of iron, slick iron.
And then at that point, I was like, "All right, I can't be a dick. Just do it." You know what? And I just killed you and did not loot you. That was the first thing that I was going to do, is loot you, and I forgot to do that because it was the end of the session.
Oh,
Damn. We might have to start underneath the infernal war machine. Like Margaret said, "Go." That was a good session.
is that because I happen to loot your War Duke guy?
This my warning guy, my baby, my sweet angel. He's the best.
Well, chat.
All right.
Are there any other questions from the chat? That throw them out there. We're just chatting, so I just want to keep on going. But I just wanted to throw that out there to the chat people. Keep on throwing the questions.
I've got a question for Tim, actually, whilst we're waiting here. Ignore paladins were never around, and they're extinct. They've all gone boom. And you had to pick your second favorite class. What would it be, and why?
Probably fighter. What's up, baby? Oh, something happened? Okay, I'll be there in 2 seconds. Is it an emergency? Oh. I'll be right back. I need to show you something for my daughter. And
I hope nobody's bleeding.
Yeah.
No,
Uh-oh.
Yeah, what's interesting is, when I was trying to find people to play the Witcher thing, especially for Tim, who's used to D&D and 5e and like treasure being everywhere and magic being everywhere, I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna do that. That's not gonna happen. Like, magic isn't everywhere. And he's like, "Okay, well, can I at least be a paladin?" I'm like, "Yeah, I can figure it out." And he's like, "You know, you're gonna get Sir Timothy." And he's been serving Sir Timothy at wholesale the whole time.
Well, except for the beginning when he was what, Sir Jimothy.
Yeah, Sir Jimothy. Yeah.
Did Sir Jimothy die?
I'm the only one that has never played a paladin. Like, I don't even play paladins in Warcraft.
I don't play paladins. I will not play a paladin.
I can't.
To be honest,
class is so close to like what you as a person want to play. Right?
Yeah.
Like I can't do it.
to be
It's
honest,
really-
so when World of Warcraft came out, the first character I created was a paladin. I was like, you know what? Yeah, that's totally what I want to do, and I got really bored really quick. Super bored very quick.
Mm-mm.
And
I've never taken one past level 10.
and I stopped playing for about a month because of that. And that was when it first came out. And I came back about a month later and started a warrior, which 100% my play style. As hard as it was to play a warrior in Warcraft and to level a warrior, it was the most like I got so much joy out of it once I hit level 60. Like, this is the best thing ever. Once I finally hit level 60, after watching all these like mages roll around, just blowing up everything, and here I am just like hacking away at one dude, and I die, and I come back and hack away, and I maybe kill it. It's like here I am, like one dude at a time.
Vanilla was fucking brutal, man. It was awful.
But once I hit 60, and once I got like tier gear, and like I was undefeatable at that point. Like, this is the best thing ever. Yeah, I loved it.
Hell yeah. So I played a druid for all of vanilla up through TBC, I think all the way up through like Wrath basically, and then I finally swapped. I have been a hunter since then, basically retail as well as like the Wrath Classic that's out right now. And lo and behold, look at right now, I'm a ranger, and like I think it's just sort of I think it's the play style. Like every person has their play style and they do it.
So I do that and shaman, that or a shaman. Actually I play all kinds of weird. I play all kinds of stuff. So
you see, this is where
I see Mirren. I see Mirren.
This is where you'll see that obviously my control freak mechanism kicking in, and I know you may be right, Valen, on this one, is I always played. I didn't play WoW because it never ran on my computer when I first had it, but I played Dungeons & Dragons Online, and day one, my first character I created in Dungeons & Dragons Online was an Intimi tank. So I've always controlled the whole battlefield on controlling my character and doing it, and basically doing that along the side of things.
Yay!
So my characters have always been.
We have a Mirren.
I'm sorry, I'm super excited. I might cry.
You're muted, mate. We can't hear you that well.
Well, shit, I'll figure it out.
It's been a while since he's.
Yeah. So I've always done that. So DDO, I played Star Wars Online, I played Neverwinter. Every single one of them was the sort of the tank that basically controlled everything all the way through, and that was and I've always played those characters until actually in a proper role-playing game I've never played one, because I don't like to do that with other people that are actually around the table to play, because it's weird. I like to play a collegiate, we're joined together, we're having fun as a group, rather than you've got to do it this way, raid leader, do this, do that, do this, which is what I had to do on the other side of things.
Percy. Oh, yeah.
I could see that. I could see that.
Fighter? I think fighter, if I could multi-class fighter cleric.
Fighter cleric.
So one of the things with fighter is you do have the Eldritch Knight as part of the fighter class.
Oh, yeah.
You still have access to magical ability.
If I Purple Dragon Knight.
Yeah, there's all stuff.
No, that's basically a paladin. Stop it. Look, Tim.
Okay.
Do you remember the rule?
What's wrong with being happy?
You know what? I'm gonna DM a campaign, and I'm gonna make Tim play a wizard.
No.
Hey, actually, do you know what? One of my
class to a paladin. I would have magic missile on him.
One of the rules I have in my game with all my friends that we play, because we play like 2 times a week with different groups and different players and stuff, is we're not allowed to play the same race or same class again in the next game. So there's people out there that it means you get to go, even if I don't want you to go completely out of your wheelhouse to do things, but knowing what the other classes do and play in the other classes broadens you a little bit and gives you a bit of experience about what they're capable of and what they're not. And if you are just playing one,
Yep.
you're not. In my view, it's like just play something a bit differently.
Yes, I
Tim.
agree. So
Tim.
the issue I would have with that is I play like I'm never going to be able to play again. Right? So you have that consistent group where you play like 3 times a week, right?
Yeah.
You have the ability to do that. The way it is in the military or whatever, where it's so hard to find people to play. Like I'll shoot them a shot for a paladin, or well, I'll always be a DM. But like, if I get a chance, I'm playing a paladin because I'll never get to play it again. I don't know. Maybe that's what goes on in my psyche. God, I could never play a wizard. I just couldn't do it.
To be honest,
I'd be like the most bro wizard ever. Like,
to be honest, the only character class I haven't actually played in 5th edition for any great length is a druid that would be the moon druid, because I don't actually like the mechanics of the shape change.
Oh,
Yeah.
moon druids are
Okay, but Tim,
ridiculous.
Tim, I gotta know, like, what would a bro wizard be like? Can you please give us a demonstration of that?
Yeah. Well,
Go and look up Muscle Wizard.
There's no
Have you seen
Muscle Wizard.
You can still be Sir Timothy. You'll just be a wizard.
Yeah.
I feel
I don't
like
think I want to Google that, by the way.
No,
wanna
Muscle
play-
Wizard is a common thing. It's a
I
common
would
thing. Don't
not go into Urban Dictionary and look up Muscle Wizard. Yeah, hang on, let me get in there first. But
worry. Do you want me to paste it into our picture so it's safe for you in Discord? Yeah.
there's a picture of Muscle Wizard. We used it for Belgar, where there's a meme of the dude that the wizard's all jacked. Yeah, you had to have seen it. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Just want to be paladin. Feel bad.
Mind you, saying that, if I do play a paladin in the next campaign, because Tim really wants me to, it might not be the standard paladin that you'd be expecting, is all I'll say. Spoiler alert.
Why do you got to ruin everything? That's all.
It'd be interesting.
Come on, Disney
if
Plus.
you did the Broken Oath.
I went there.
A Broken Oath paladin, and it's a redemption arc.
Oh, and not just force him down the path.
He could, or he can just go full Lord Soth
Ooh, approved.
and then become the BBEG for the next campaign.
Approved.
You wait till you see it. Skyler knows what I have planned, and it's not a standard paladin.
It's great. I love it. I can't wait.
Yeah. Oh, I don't even want to know.
Oath of the Ancients.
Yeah. Oh no. Why?
There you go. I've put a picture in our Stronghold group for you of the Muscle Wizard.
And
Muscle
I'm putting it
Wizard.
in. There we go. Oh yes, there we go.
I don't know. I'd play a wizard for you guys. Would do it. I need the cat poop.
There you go.
Yep, he's out. He's back in.
Now I'm awkwardly turned on by the muscle wizard, and I'm feeling things about a male that I'm not sure I normally feel about a male.
He likes to keep you on your toes, is all I'll say.
I'm not sure if muscle wizards into Valanthia Far to BH. I think he's the bouncer at the Blue Oyster. Our bro over here. I don't know. I don't know if I could be. I don't know if I could be.
It's the thing I have against. It's the same as like 5th edition, which is the bit that always is interesting. Is there's lots of items out there, as Tim will know now, that will give strength stupidly high on characters.
Yeah.
It's typically belt.
You,
So first of
you
all-
don't say.
First of all,
What's your highest?
what are you making? Oh, we gotta do it.
highest?
Carrie, you gonna make a drink? What's the next one?
Yeah, I was gonna make a drink. You guys, like, I'm gonna let you guys just like watch.
Rejuvenation.
So
Neither
the
you like
first
that.
one was the first one was the Shy Barmaid. It was 2 ounces of gin, a half an ounce of lemon, and a half ounce of simple syrup poured over 3 ounces of champagne. Also known as a French 75, but whatever. And then this one is going to be the Goblin Mind Scrambler. and also a champagne cocktail, but it is we have cranberry juice, we have vodka, and we have lime. And I'll just let you guys watch. I'm gonna mute myself as I do this so that like just kind of like watch the hands, and then I'll kind of like hold the cup up as I pour so you can like follow along. But continue the conversation. I'm just gonna pour myself a drink.
JD, you up?
I don't even know.
There it is.
Yes, you are.
Hey, he's up. Yeah. We got you.
So
Hey, buddy.
this guy's not a paladin as well, is he?
Yeah, and there was a lot of confirmation bias. He was definitely the protagonist immediately, and he leveled out in like 1 year. I was like, Holy Avenger, Sunsword, +3 plate.
See,
I was living vicariously through his character.
so you're the guy that got the sun sword at level 3.
Well,
Yeah.
Sunblade, but yeah,
Sunblade.
it evolved into that once Ravenloft was done. But yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't the Sunblade arguably better than the sun sword?
Not the way we made it.
No.
So the Sun Sword is where.
Leveled enough, it was essentially downgraded so that I wouldn't have the full power of the sword anyway. Because then I would be.
Oh, was that after you had the conversation with me, Tim?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I would have to. So this is what I would say. You would say things, and I'm like, "Hey, there's a dungeon master out there that I know that says that we should probably dial this back a bit, or we're not gonna have fun." I was always
so you're blaming me. Blaming me.
Yeah.
God, harsh. Blaming me. That's mean.
And then Foz Gundren got a hold of the Sun Sword when it was full might and did like 330 damage. Was that the world record? He did like 330 damage like one round against that was it an ancient red dragon?
I
Yeah, it
don't
was
remember.
Arm.
Who
Yeah,
knows?
yeah. Smoked him in like one round. I was like, well, that's my mama. What you building there, buddy? Well, it looks like a lot of fun
Are you
stuff.
asking me?
Oh yeah.
Lime juice and cranberry juice, vodka, simple syrup, and then we are going to top it with cheap champagne because when I went to Sam's Club this weekend, like Sam's Club, it was, well, I can pay $46 for like a normal size bottle of all they had left, or for $12 I could get an entire magnum the size of my head. So yeah.
As you're mixing it with lots of other things.
I
it's
want
fine.
to ask how much you paid for that simple syrup when you could have made it for about 5 cents.
Okay, look, motherfucker, I'm lazy and I don't have time for this. So this was worth every penny I paid.
Well played.
Just saying.
Totally
I'm just
agree.
saying. You can make that for about 5 cents.
I know that. Yes, I know that, but I don't have the time.
Hey,
I don't have the time.
hey, look, can you stop mansplaining things? I'm sorry. Come on.
So let's see. What more questions do we have out there? What more questions?
So
What questions?
Skylar, what's your next character? What character are you playing in the next campaign?
I am playing a College of Creation. Is it College of Creation? It's colleges in the Bard, right?
Yeah, College to the Bard.
Yeah. So College of Creation.
We got mad Bard energy if I jump into this one. Because I wanted to be a Bard too.
You guys could just like leave a band.
Auto. So I am my own personal band. I am an auto. So I'm pulling a race or whatever the hell you want to call it in D&D 1. The Auto Gnome from the Spelljammer series is the race. So it's a little like a gnome construct, and he's a bard. College of Creation he's plays the bagpipes and the pan flute, and he sounds a lot like a calliope, if you know what that sounds like. If you don't, just go look it up. They're really loud and obnoxious.
So you're telling me he's the bagpipes of D&D?
Yes, and so his creator created him and then died, and before giving him all the knowledge that he needed to be a proper bard and inspiring people. So he knows what people want, but he doesn't know when people want it or how exactly that works. So,
No.
so he'll probably do things at the wrong time, or
Like, in other words, in a sad moment, he plays a happy song.
or
'Cause he knows people need a song.
yeah, and it's going to be really loud and obnoxious because it's going to sound like a calliope. And it's going to be great.
Tyler, question I have for you though is those instruments that you say that he plays,
Yes.
are they actually part of him? Has
Yes.
he been made
Yes.
as a one-man band?
Absolutely.
Oh, I love it.
So if you look at the character sheet and you see all the different instruments that he's proficient in, basically a door opens and all the instruments pop out and he goes ba-da-ba-ba-ba, bang bang bang, da, da, purr, purr, purr.
How are you gonna do this? What are you wearing? What? I want to see this.
So you could quite
Are you really
easily
asking
have.
what somebody's wearing? My God, man.
God,
want all
this
the
is brutal.
Hey, real quick, I want to shout out to Kurt who just popped into the chat. He said D&D, let's go. Kurt, we're not playing D&D today. We're just chatting about D&D and everything.
We're playing D&D. We're just doing tavern.
Yeah, we're playing tavern D&D stuff. So, Kurt, if you have any questions, please, by all means, ask away. We're here for y'all's entertainment.
Skylar, you could have one of your arms is like one of those accordions, so you could actually just pump it in and out on your arm.
Yeah.
Your arms could be accordions.
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna be ridiculous. It's gonna be silly.
Oof.
It's gonna be a very different campaign from what Tim has been going off of for the last 3 years.
And then how about you could have some sort of a head thing that comes down as a trumpet in front of you, or a kazoo.
Oh,
A
actually,
little flick down
why
kazoo.
don't I? You know what? I'm gonna do this.
Just post your
Why don't
guy.
you go old school? Go with a hurdy-gurdy machine.
Yes, I love a hurdy-gurdy.
Yes.
The
You
fact
could
that you
have-
know what the hell I'm talking about is just
Actually,
unhinged.
what we could do, how about you're a bard, aren't you? So if you take Find Familiar, you could get a little monkey that cranks you.
Sir, it's not that kind of chat today. Oh, nobody's ranking.
So here I'm throwing this up here. I don't know.
You don't have to call me.
At the iftar.
I don't
So
know
you
if
don't have
anybody can see this, but this is my bard, and I got to see what I'm proficient in, instrument
What I
wise.
say is you don't have to call me sir on a live stream, okay?
So these are the instruments that I'm proficient in: the horn, the pan flute, and there was like 5 other, the bagpipes and the drum. So I figured that was enough to make an annoying bard, Calliope person thing.
I
No.
think that's going to be amazing, and Tim's going to love it.
He's been struggling right now.
Boy.
So all you do is like your next campaign is just all your players trolling you.
It already is, I think.
Like I'm
It's not
not.
like high fantasy. It's like, whatever. I'll just eat you with a great worm. It's fine.
Like am I going to be a good bard?
Where's my finishers?
I will inspire you with loud noises.
You just went potty somewhere, didn't you?
All I have to say, Skylar, is every single game I've been in with a bard, they've got to about level 5 or 6, and they go, "Oh yeah, I can inspire people." So they generally have to have a little letter. They have to have something on the top of the spread, their character sheet that says "Use inspiration," and in big letters, and they have to read it every time they have because people just forget they can inspire people until they get to a higher
I
level.
will remember that. I'm going to remember that, and I'm going to inspire people in the most ridiculous ways.
We'll hold you to that.
I hope you do. Hey! Thank you, Kurt, for the sub. You are awesome. Oh, actually, that was. Never mind. Adam is getting out.
Talking about joining the next session, the next campaign that Tim runs as bards. but I was going to fashion my whole bard around the College of Battle or the College of Valor or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So essentially, I'm just making a fighter who can sing, and just fashion
Making a skald.
a heavy metal singer.
Nice.
Nice. See,
Yeah. So like
see,
everything. Sorry, go ahead.
no, I was just saying, I've done similar. We played a campaign and every single person was a rogue.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was my whole inspiration. Actually, Rob Flynn from Machine Head was my inspiration.
So
Go for it.
here's a great question from River. What does everybody think of the new D&D movies coming out whenever they decide to come out?
I'm excited about it.
I
wanna
also
watch
am.
it.
I'm also very excited about it.
I've actually got. I would show you, but I might get in trouble. But I've actually got one of my relatives
River,
works for
okay.
a cinema. Works for a cinema, and I've actually got probably a 20-foot by 20-foot poster in vinyl of the new D&D movie.
I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful. I like the meme that's out. It's like at the very end of the movie, like all the actors stand up from a table and they're like, "All right, we'll see you next week." And Chris Pine's like, "Oh no, I gotta work," and the other guy's like, "Oh no, I gotta do whatever," and then they like turns into a big shit show.
Yes, yeah, I agree. I always like the first meme. One of the first memes I saw on the new D&D film was, "It only works if the first episode, the first 5 minutes, they all die, and then they all come back as their brothers of their characters."
Yes.
That look exactly the same.
Chris Pine too.
I just based off of the trailer, I think they're doing it justice. I think they're doing it the right way. I think they are.
They have to be just perfectly goofy, right?
Yeah, well, they've got to be goofy because has anybody actually watched the original D&D movies?
Well, that's the next question that River has is what about the original 2 movies?
Are we talking about the ones that were released in like 2000 where like Jeremy Irons like, fuck, I just bought a castle, I have to do this?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and they were.
Because
they basically tried to make a serious. They tried to make a serious D&D movie.
Can't do it.
Which is a mistake.
Would you guys watch the Critical Role thing? The thing on Prime.
Sorry, who's Critical Role?
The animated? The animated?
Yeah. It's something.
It's something to discuss. I mean, it's a version of a game. It's a version of a game put to a show.
Yeah. Like
I enjoyed it whilst I watched it. I enjoyed it as it. I'm very.
If you watched all 7,000 hours of it and then got to watch the cartoon, it was good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But
I also quite like, to be honest, I'm quite lucky that I can watch things in isolation. I don't really care about their interaction with canon and all that sort of stuff. I just like to watch there. And the Critical Role anime was funny, had some quite enjoyable bits, some bits I didn't like. But overall, I would watch it again. That's my view on it. It was an enjoyable watch.
Yeah, season 2 is coming out, but even with the D&D movie, like I understand like trying to like how do you capture that energy that's at the table? You know, like the stupidity that comes from flubbing dice and everything like that. I think that's the biggest thing that's hard to capture. I want to encapsulate Dungeons and Dragons. However, I think that Wizards of the Coast is kind of missing a mark because they need to capitalize on the amount of lore that there is. Like for Faerun, for example, like R.A. Salvatore's all
you're do Drizzt. We've already been here. Just do Drizzt.
It's not Drizzt.
There's no I. There's no I.
Dritz.
Dritz. I can say what I want.
You didn't.
Dritz.
You read the book.
Yeah.
But if they would do a Game of Thrones style series on like HBO or something like that, where we follow Drizzt and his company. If you literally just start off with Halfling's Gem and do backstory with flashback for that, I think you could encapsulate a lot of what makes the lore of Faerun amazing.
I agree.
Drizzt.
Dritz. Dritz.
I'm a drizzit. My mom says Italian dressing. All right, it's in my blood. Okay,
It's because you're from it's because you're from Michigan.
Throw vowels out in places that don't belong. It's in my blood.
I'm English. We use stupid words for lots of different things, so don't worry.
Not going there. I love the whole island. Please follow us.
Just the whole island.
Yay, blighters.
See, you can ask the question of how do you say Menzo Branzan?
What?
Menzo Branzan. No, it's Menzo Branzan, and it's the Bainrays. Bainrays?
Benzo Branzan?
I used to think it was the Bainers until I read the audiobook. Stupid.
Read the audiobook.
Theoretically, you can, because you can bring the Kindle up and listen to it at the same time. So.
Yeah.
Question for you. When you're reading the audiobook, how do they pronounce Dritz?
Dritz. Yeah, it's Dritz Stewarded. But to me, I process it in my brains.
Well, I think it's also like
I'll be right back.
reading through it and before hearing it and you read it.
There's an apostrophe. It's Dritz.
You end up
Dritz.
It's like reading Wheel of Time before you hear the book or see the show.
Yeah, and I agree. It's that
Everybody's name starts with an A.
I'm dyslexic, so my English skills are quite stretched, should I say, to be perfectly honest. And me and my brother read all the same books growing up. But my brother was he would be an English major. He is very much that way inclined, and I'm very much STEM. And we would read books, and my brother would go, "Oh, do you remember this bit, and this bit?" And I'm like, no, because those words don't make sense to me. And he'd have to go to the book and point at them and go, that's what this... And I'd go, oh, I say this word for that, because that's how my mind would... And we had to have like a common goal of when we were discussing things and going, what's these... Oh, that's the character's name. I would recognize that it was that character, but the way it was pronounced, good luck. Absolutely good luck getting that right in my head.
Connor, so that brings up like a funny memory. So as Sir Tim pointed out, 2 books in now, both of them have been published. I've got a third one that's like in the works, and I've got another one that's like kind of I'm reworking right now. And you talked about the difference between STEM and like English major. When I first wrote this book back way long ago, like longer than I would care to admit to, I let one of my partners read it, and my partner's response was, honey, I love you, but it reads like you're a physics major, and you are, and so that's okay. I've come a long way since there, but like, let me tell you, I 100% understand physics and STEM brain, not physics and like English brain.
Oh yeah.
My heart goes out to you, my friend.
But it is funny because you got the classic thing of people going, we're all equal, we're all the same, we're all this stuff, and it's like
we're not all the same.
We're not. It's not going to work. You put I get put in front of. I do a lot of my main job now is I'm a technical architect for an IT company, and I get to approve lots and lots of documentation. Being a dyslexic person, approving documentation is quite funny. But I will sit there and go, you've got that bit wrong, and that doesn't make sense. And they go, but how did you pick it up so fast? Because I just look at patterns, I understand things, and I go through and go, that's what that is. And they're like, but it's gone through 5 people already. I said, well, I don't care, it's wrong. And they're like, but they'll go through and go, oh yeah, you were right. And he's like, but everyone looks at things differently, and that's why, especially as obviously being an author, you cannot rely on one person proofreading your document, your book.
Yeah.
Because
so
you'll get.
I'm going to circle like all the way back to the beginning of this session. I think it was Neo Soul God. The question about like, what are we doing to bring diversity into our group? Because if we all look alike, we all think alike, we all talk alike, like we're all going to attack a problem the same way, whether it's our day jobs or like it's D&D, right?
Followed it every single time. Maybe I'm the problem.
Am I the problem? Right? Like, let's just
I
say in the day job, I know I'm the different one, and I know I'm not the problem. I don't think like everybody else thinks, but when it comes down to D&D, right? Like, you kind of go, oh shit, do we all the same? Are we all going to attack this problem the same? Like, let's talk about last week. Would any of you other people gone, hey, you know what? This MFer is stuck in a tree, and I'm just going to go ahead and shoot him.
Don't do that.
Sorry.
Don't do that. Yeah.
But everybody's different. Like, and so sometimes, like, hey, maybe we need
totally
different people in the group.
Yeah. But that's the key thing on this. It's that classic thing of it's like Connor at the moment is one of the only characters in our group that is more of from a military type background. And the interesting thing about it is everyone in the group, well, the majority of the people playing are all military people, and I'm the actual civilian. And it's like,
no, you're 6, bro. I checked you out. You're good.
And it's like, so I'm going. Can we do? Connor might do these, and I'm like, they're going to be laughing at me. Every single one in this group going, he's an imbecile. What is he talking about?
He's taught us everything we know. You know, just turn your coat inside out and you're blue.
But it is funny because it's like, and that's the whole thing on this is, it's quite nice to play different characters that have different, and it is, for instance, I'm very much a planning person. I like to plan lots of stuff. I am a control freak. Yes, sorry. However, one of my favorite characters I've played it's about 8 years ago now, but I played a rogue with a wisdom of 7. And we played the character as anything. No, it was we basically played it as he had no impulse control at all.
Oh.
So basically, the way I did it was any time I was thinking in my head, oh, I would do this. I just did it because I didn't want to. I didn't quantify it. I didn't come up with the pros and cons and say, is it the right thing to do? I went,
I want to write a book called Toxic Player Characters.
Toxic player characters?
What do you think?
A gigantic tambourine. I want to be a tambourine robot pipe.
Do
you feel attacked, Skylar?
I totally do. Listen. I am playing. Hold on a second. I am playing. In our Witcher campaign, I am playing a completely different character than Manu. I am playing the conscience and the
You're Jiminy Cricket. Like, you were literally Jiminy Cricket to Sir Timothy.
Yes, yeah. I absolutely am. Like, this last session, like, he's like, we need to go do this. Like, we need to go. I'm like, listen, no, no, we need to go do this. Yeah. And everybody in the chat's going, wow, Manu's actually being the voice of reason here. Like, yeah, that's absolutely.
Cool. I had to be like, I had to put my sword in. I was like.
Like, we got what we came for. Let's go back.
And Manu, on some of the stuff that Connor's done, we're doing this, and people are going, I want to do this. No, we're doing this. That's what we've been asked to do, and it is quite hard in certain cases to sort of go, I'll do this as well.
Yeah,
and it is.
Well, like the other side of that too, like so on our side of the screen too, like. Hearing that, I'm like, oh, awesome. Because then they go this direction. I have to do X, Y, Z and get them to here. But now they're saying, hey, let's do this instead. And then now let's go do this. And you're like, oh, crap, I don't have that. And now in my head, I'm already building the tracks to get you guys there. But it also is an exercise in me as a DM or GM as I.
Aaron, you're lucky you don't have Manu in your group.
Yeah. I say the one like, hey, that's a portal that to where we don't know. I'm jumping in it. I'm like, what?
I've spent hours building this map for this, and he decided to skip the entire thing.
Oh, wait, was that?
Are we not all just like murder hobos?
No, we're not murder hobos. We're not murder hobos. It's. Manu. No, we're not. We don't kill indiscriminate NPCs. We don't kill NPCs just to kill NPCs. Connor might.
Right. Let's go.
I only kill characters that Tim has painted minis for.
Tyler, if you recall, that's why I don't put my maps out. Just in case you guys are like, oh, because I realized that when I had something set up for everybody, and then you guys like, you know what, we're not going to go over there, and I'm like, oh, okay, I just built this awesome.
But the thing is,
use it. So
DMs, there's a load of obviously tactics and a load of examples that you can use on for that sort of stuff. And if you're doing a pre-written module and you've got a set path and a set layout of your dungeon and there are certain things that you go, oh, they've missed that room. Oh, they've missed that room. Oh no, but they needed that information in that room. So how are they going to? Oh no, this is going to just fall apart. It's going to do it. You also got the other side of the fence is you can design your room, you can design all the layouts. You just don't tell the players what they are until they open the door. When they open the door, you go into room 1. The next door they open, you go into room 2. The next door they open, you go into room 3. They thought they've made the complete choice themselves, but they've gone into room 1, 2, 3 in the order you want.
I learned that after 3.5 years of DMing. You guys run outside. Oh, why is the shield of the Hidden Lord just laying in a puddle? Yeah, well, for reasons, it's right here now.
But there's stuff like that that's quite important. But it's also it's very hard to, and which I like about players is how many times have you been DMing? You've got a group of 5 or 6 people, and they discuss something that is actually better than you were going to do. They come up with some plan, something. Oh, wouldn't it be a good idea if...
Like split the party?
you mean
No, I mean like they'll say, oh, that person we met,
Tim, never mind. You split our party.
Yeah.
We
And
didn't
that's
split
gonna
the
happen
party.
in a moment, and I was feeling the energy. It's like that first hit. You were coming in, and I was coming in. Are we busy right now? And the party split.
No, actually, you didn't just split the party twice, though, did you?
No.
We split it. We had a three-way going for a while.
She's putting on keep the chat.
Is that when Henry and them like ran off towards the Hellwasp nest? What's the third? What was the? Oh, okay. I brought them back. I corralled them. I was like,
you went from a two-way into.
Might want to.
You basically you did manage to corral from a two-way into a three-way back to a two-way, which was quite clever.
Which, when I saw Henry's HP and as many spell slots as he had left after that entire fight, I should have let him. I should have let him press. And you guys like woke up in the infernal war machine. What are you doing, buddy?
I just want to know when Mirren is going to come back.
Mirren.
I'm just saying, once again, there are way too many parallels between D&D and BDSM and two ways and three ways. And like, is this like a giant polyamory or what?
Maybe.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't understand the similarities. I don't know. No. Too innocent here.
I'm sorry, Connor. Do I need to drop my voice and explain it more slowly?
Really slowly, please. Yeah.
I did get told when I was going through Navigator School that if I ever wanted to get a job in a different industry, that using a specific voice was going to get me there.
Who was your instructor that told you that?
I tried doing that a lot. And it
once again, I don't name names, but if you were there within like a year plus or minus of me, you would know who it was.
Where'd you go through?
Pensacola.
Never mind.
No. My interesting was I think it was can't remember, it was either I think it's Kygon's wife that we were chatting about some stuff and it's first time I think she's heard my voice and she was like, "Oh, who's the Brit?" I was like, "What do you mean?" She goes, "I could listen to your voice for hours."
Alicia.
Yeah, that sounds like Alicia. Alicia says the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is a woman, and she's on. I know she's on Twitter. I'm pretty sure she's on TikTok, and she is a voice actor. And I wanted her to do my book because I've been told that like, if you read the first 4 to 5 pages, like, and you know me, you cannot listen to me doing the audiobook of my book, right? Like, it's too traumatic. Your brain will fucking fry. But this woman, she will be like, "Hey, girl, how?" By the way, if I ever like actually attract a woman, I drop my voice and I'd look and say, "Hey girl, I love your outfit." And there's a really big difference between, "Hey girl, I love your outfit," and, "Hey, oh, I love your outfit."
There
And
is a difference. That
It's
is a
never
big
worked for me.
difference.
that tells you
At one
what
time.
a good voice actor does.
Jermaine, hey, I like that sweater. Doesn't work.
Yeah, but it also depends on if they like you in the first place, because otherwise you're a cringe.
Yeah. We are so far off Dungeons and Dragons right now.
We're not. We're not. We're on voice acting. What are you on about? What are you on about, Tim?
Hashtag voice actors. Yeah.
This is definitely, hey, but you know what? For the number of people that like join us and listen, just like listen into the background, actually watch us play, like, honest to God, I would say that most people are probably listening to us in the background, right? Like, they may not like physically be watching what's going on, but it's interesting, if nothing else.
True, true, true. True, true.
I totally.
It's just good seeing Mirren. Miss you, man.
Yeah,
It's so
he
long.
misses you.
January.
He needs another paladin in the group. We need a paladin in the group.
I literally killed the last paladin. He's so dead right now.
Oh, true. Actually, he's so dead he hasn't come back.
He's so dead. Yeah.
Recover from it.
By the way, so we're slightly over, I think, perhaps what I thought was the original time. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm going to get dinner started. So if you guys want to watch me watch dinner, like, you're more than welcome to. I'm listening. I'm going to mute myself, though. So, like, yay, watch me cook dinner.
Yeah. Yeah. Whenever.
What are we having? What are we having?
So on Christmas, I made like a spiral cut ham, and then today it was I made ham like broth. And sorry, I'm very with the knife. I'm about to
Gonna rogue out on something.
I'm about to rogue out, but I'm making a ham and soup.
Nice.
And I swear that I'm not going to stab any human beings because there are no human beings in my house right now. So everybody's safe. Ignore the knife. Just, I'm going to mute myself and you can watch me make ham and potato soup.
I've got
Alright.
some hash brown casserole being made right now that's going to be amazing for dinner, so I can't wait for that. And I do have to say, Alicia said she could listen to Pete read the back of a shampoo bottle all day.
Hey, Pete, start reading a shampoo bottle. Let's get this thing started.
I've got my glasses. Actually, I've got There you go. I'll read this as this is a tube of sort of a back pain thing. So it starts with adults and children aged 14s and over. Use an amount of size of 1 penny or 2 pence. Rub gently and apply 3 to 4 times daily to the affected area of skin.
Oh shoot!
Oh, this is great.
All right,
Oh,
so
my
do we have
God.
any questions out there in the universe, or do we move on to DM perspectives or PC's perspectives?
I mean, we're just kind of we're all over the place at this point. So
Yeah.
But hang on, was there an actual agenda for this?
I mean,
I think
ish. It's a
What it was?
loose agenda.
We didn't do a recap. We haven't even done a
There was
recap
no agenda.
of the campaign.
Like
What's happening?
you know what? I threw up the drunken duck. Can you see this here? Yeah, like there's this agenda. It's like if we got lost somewhere in here in this discussion and we all started staring at each other going, what are we talking about? Then we could go back to this. But you know what? We're doing fine.
I think we're doing fine.
So,
we're doing fine.
If any other questions from the peanut gallery, aka our chat, what should we call our chat people? That's a good question. What do our chatters and what do our subscribers and followers want to be called?
Mirrens.
Mirren's magnificent.
Until he comes back, we're gonna call him Mirrens.
Timmy's.
I don't know. No, I'm good. I'm all set with that one.
Oh my god.
No one wants to be called a Timmy. That's a fact. Like every Charles Dickens didn't hook us up.
So, Tim, are you looking at the little puppy in your hands? Are you becoming a Beastmaster in your next character?
Not a beast.
He's starting to go Druid Circle of the Moon.
I'm not.
Oh, don't get me started. Don't get me started on the mechanics of Circle of the Moon. Oh, I'll be ranting for the next half an hour. Don't get me started on it.
The most broken Druid.
Please get him
no.
started. Get him started.
No. Has anybody ever played? On that note, has anybody ever played a Druid from other editions? Okay. Their key thing they had was they had shape change just like the Moon Druid, which is fine. But when you changed, you had the hit points of the monster, which again is a good thing. When you got to 0 hit points, though, you became unconscious and turned back into human form.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? In 5th edition, you go, I've got 50 hit points as a druid. I shape change into some creature of whatever I want and get 100 hit points.
Yeah.
I lose the 100 hit points. I go to 0 hit points on my character. I then go back to 50. Yeah. And I stay fine.
Character HP.
And then the next turn, I just shape change again back into a creature.
Oh, see, that's silly. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. And here, thank you, Adamus. I love this. I didn't even know we could do this. Pinned questions into the chat. Kurt Got Crypto is asking, how many points are there to assign to your character? This is an actual D&D question. An actual D&D mechanics question. How many points are there to assign to your character? Are they split up like this many for a class or this many for a race, or is it just a grand total?
Tim, do you want to do that one?
Like hit points?
Or do you want?
Points
no. Basically, what he's asking for is when you got your characters, you got your 6 stats.
Yep.
There's multiple ways of creating characters. You can roll your stats. You can roll your stats. Some people do 3d6, 4d6, drop the lowest.
Array on the next one.
But standard array, the advantage of standard array, which I will endorse heavily, is every single character is balanced into some regards.
Okay. We're going to do a high 15, though.
That's what standard array is.
That's what standard array is.
Yeah, that's what standard array is.
A high 16, though. We were going to do a high 16.
No, you were the one that said you wanted to. Yeah. So we're doing the standard array.
Yeah.
That's fine. It's just
I'm gonna go with
the reason why I like standard array though is I'm not sure if you've done it in your campaign, mate. Is if you have 6 characters that roll stats, you'll generally get one that has been ultra lucky the day those stats were rolled.
Yeah. Money.
And they will make the other characters seem underpowered.
Well, I do think there's a way to do that though, because like for me, I have everybody reroll one.
Prize for you.
So when you I need to get rid of the lowest one. So like, but I also let it up to the character to make the decision. Like, okay, hey, actually, I want to have a low stat, which I'm perfectly okay.
I actually think, from a role-playing perspective, having an 8 in one of your stats is actually really useful. Yeah. It helps you go, my character's not as intelligent, not as weak, not as charismatic, and you can play to that. Mm-hmm. It gives you something to bounce off of. If you've got average and above in every single stat, it's hard to sometimes go, I have a weakness of some kind. It's hard to sometimes identify it.
I have a very weak Achilles heel. Literally, my heel sucks. That would be like that. Like you're having to make up some bullshit to. Yeah, I could see that.
So
Kurt says even knowing there's a standard array, he's still like, what are the limits? Understanding that different classes have different strengths, and I mean, really, the limits are just when you use the standard array, the limits are whatever the standard array is. You just assign your stats based upon what you want your character to be good at.
I don't think
it also
that's
depends.
The best part about D&D is there is no limits.
Yeah, there's no limit, really.
Yeah,
and also there's actually nothing wrong with playing a character that, if you say you played a paladin, or to say sometimes you're playing a fighter with 8 strength and low dex, you can still play that character. It's still fun to play. You can still do things. You might not be optimum. You might not be what min-maxing and doing it is the best way possible. But that character is still a fun character to play. You just have to play it, and you play it the way you want it to be. So, for instance, you could have had a character when you roll your stats that is actually average in everything and not exceptional in anything. And he could have been like the village hero that managed to do something, and he's now gone off adventuring. He doesn't actually stand out in any shape or form, but he's still fun to play.
Yeah, absolutely. Kara, I love that apron. That's great.
Mm-hmm. Did you guys hear the squeaky toy from
My belated mother-in-law gave this to me.
You're deleted. How did you just press a button and she went? That's amazing. How did you do that?
Oh, honey, if only if I could.
Deleted from the Earth server, or like is she still cruising around?
No, like, by the way, if you decide that you have breast cancer and then you don't get it treated, then you get deleted from the Earth server. Like, it's a really weird, like, -8 to stam and like -10 to life. Bizarre.
Oof. That's rough.
Oh.
How much have you been drinking? How much have
wish
you
I
been
was
drinking?
kidding.
Oh my god.
So she'd be my ex-mother-in-law regardless, I guess. Oh, but
Well, rest in peace.
Rest in pieces.
Yeah. I actually once a new group of players. We were playing in a local gaming group here, and in front of the DM, we were all rolling our characters, and we used the DM's dice, so no fudge dice, no of these dice that happen to roll better than others. And in front of him, I rolled a 4d6, dropped the lowest, and I rolled a character with 3 18s. And he went, and everybody else, the highest they had was like 14, 15. And I was like, I'm not playing that. Oh, yeah, but you rolled it. I said, I'm not playing that character in this group.
Yeah.
And I actually took stats away because it was just unfair.
It's the superhero amongst
Yeah. River says
whatever.
The
Yeah.
One, and no ones, like that's what I did for y'all, and it ended up backfiring
Like
big time.
to me, I think it also depends on the overall tone of the campaign and what you're trying to run too. So if you're trying to create the sort of like average party, then go for it. But if you're trying to say, for example, like you want to be, hey, I want to be, my character backstory is I was a soldier for X amount of time, and now I'm coming out of that, and now I'm venturing. That would make sense for you to have above average stats to a certain degree. So I think it's also based off of the DM in a conversation too. So
If just level them up one.
you could, or you can just have them roll it, because how I looked at stats for like, because you have character classes, so you have soldiers, veterans, bandits, all that stuff, NPCs, and you look at them, they're always like level 1, level 2, level 3. That's also why I have most people start my campaigns out as a level 3, because it gives them the ability to assess whether or not they want that character and that
They can adjust stats.
that player class, and then they can change it based off of like, hey man, this isn't really jiving for me based off the sessions.
Yeah.
Let's change it up in the next session. I'm completely cool with it.
Well, I think if you've got people who've played before as well, level 3 is a good spot to start versus. But just looking at Rude Mike, like my strength and dexterity 9s.
Yeah.
9s, and even though I've got average intelligence, I would say, and I want to say Sir Timothy has like we have like above average like perception type stuff. We suck, absolutely suck at every roll like perception roll, this roll, like
we got Will Wheaton problems.
they're like, no, we miss all of it, every bit of it.
There is an inherent DM curse because I have it too. Like if I decide to be a PC, like behind, like I'm rolling like 18s, 19s, 20s, or like high in the teens, and then as soon as I decide to become a PC, I'm like, all right, baby, same dice I'm using as a DM, and I roll. I'm like a 3. I've never rolled a 3.
You also find, because the other thing I find being a DM as well is, as a DM, you are easily rolling probably 10 or 15 times the amount of dice you roll as a player. So it's human. Yeah, so it's human nature to go, I always roll well. Look at these dice. If you had actually recorded them all, you would actually notice that there are ones that you do roll quite low on, but because you get a lot of the high ones as well, you automatically remember them. So I did it for a few sessions of going, because I'm exactly the same as you. Amongst my friends, I'm reasonably lucky on my dice, and I'll use other people's dice, I'll do stuff. And as a DM, I have to roll behind a screen, because otherwise sometimes I will obliterate the players because just rolling extremely well. And it's like, actually, this isn't fun for people. This isn't going to work.
I withheld a natural 20 on you.
Yeah. I was going to say, like, with the Naruzgan and Henry, I picked off a couple 20s straight off the map. I was like, well, Tim's going to die. So Tim's going to die. I'm okay, just send it. As long as I, you know what I mean, was first there, I'm fine. Yeah. Yeah, well.
No.
He's okay. He's got the zoomies. Did you guys hear him squeaky with a squeaky toy, or is the mic blocking it out?
Only now and then. Only now and then.
So JD, we got a new pup.
I saw him.
Yeah. He's 103% pee. Yeah. It's just all the pee.
It's everything to you.
Yeah, everything is pee. And 2 little perfect poops that just arrive in random places.
Right, we got a question. We got a question in the Twitch again. If somebody wants to pick it up, it's basically, if you are running a small group, i.e., 3 players, do you fill in the missing areas with NPCs?
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
I have a campaign I'm running with my wife and my niece. 2 players, and they have 0 healing capabilities. So you guys get a cleric.
Oh, I wouldn't say an NPC right away.
Yeah,
but an NPC eventually. Yeah. If you're starting level 1, go crush some goblins, the 3 of you. Go get in a bar fight, the 3 of you, and then eventually you're gonna run into the magenta line. You know what I mean? The dude's like, I think you should go to this place. Yeah. What do you think?
I do it slightly differently, because that's just me. I always got things differently. Is if I'm running a proper module from a book that I'm playing it as rigid as I roughly can, I generally do shore up things as required. However, if I'm customizing a group or playing it as a custom game, I will generally write it or do it to the strengths and weaknesses of the party. So if they haven't got a rogue, I won't put loads of traps in. I'll do the odd one because there's traps available, but I won't. It's
hide a trap. You're not going to hide a trap for a barbarian, with no rogue.
Exactly. Yeah.
Watch me.
So that's what I'll say. Is I do it for if you were a band of adventurers and you didn't have a rogue, and you were going to somewhere and you'd done some reconnaissance and you'd done some information and you found out that there were lots of traps there. If you were that party, in my view, you'd go, shit, we need to hire someone. We need to get someone to come with us on this trip.
Yeah.
Go to the local adventurers group. I need someone to help me do this, and that you get them in for that. But not as a DM. I wouldn't go. I would drop the hints and say, "There's loads of traps here. There's loads of this here. We're doing this." If they decide then to just go, "We'll be fine."
Yeah. He was just mentioning
that's on them.
In this campaign, we didn't have a cleric because I was sick of being a cleric. And I stopped being a cleric.
You were the jester level of clerics. Like, I have to heal people. Yeah. And you're like, I don't want to do this anymore. So,
I
yeah.
just want to be a paladin that can lay on hands, and that's it. That's it.
If you suck,
Look,
get off. You know what I mean? Like, get off me. You get my 5.
we all know Tim likes touching people. Okay, that's
He
all it
does.
is. Tim likes touching people.
So, Kurt has another question. What is considered a large group, and is there a group size limit? This is a perfect question for Tim. Thank you, Kurt.
If you're running a stream and you don't have a neighborhood that's boxed in, it's 12 to make 8, 8 to make 4. Right? If you're running a stream, you're going to need a wide pool of folks. Here's the answer. All 12 of them are going to show up, or 2 of them are going to show up. So you just got to be patient.
But do you have a cap?
No, I don't have a cap. Yep. I don't think I have a cap. Like, just because I want to keep the community together.
What I'd also say is there are rules, and you're the one that actually brought this up to me, which is if you have large parties, you can use the 15-10-5 rule. So in other words, because most parties are designed, and reading a lot of stuff, like Joe Magnello brought this up in an interview too, is that most creatures are designed for a table of 4.
Yeah.
So you have to start buffering things in a different way. So like, unfortunately, if you're like, hey, I'm gonna DM, like I have like 8 friends who all want to play, and I'm the only person who has these books, fuck it, I'm gonna play.
Yep.
Like you're gonna see your creatures get one-shotted in like a round, because most of your things are just going to get decimated. So knowing and understanding that with your
Don't look at us like that, Tim.
Well, yeah, but we have an understanding in the party, though. If the 9 of you are going to show up and you're going to fight Tiamat, she's 1,000. Yeah, she got 1,000 HP, so get after her. If it's 4 of you, well, it's dial it.
Yeah, it to me, it's like me. Like when I'm playing, I actually have a party limit of 6. If I do go if I go over 6, and that's like at a table, it ends up me having to do a lot of role play, and then I also feel like people start getting, especially newer players, they start getting bored because they're not understanding the success of events, which is what happened to me many moons ago, back in the early 2000s before the military, where I didn't understand it because we had a party of like 7 people, and I didn't understand, like, okay, I just went, now I have to wait almost 45 minutes to an hour to say something again.
Yeah.
So I think it's all based off what you want. What do you want to drive? Especially if you want like a very combat heavy, like action oriented style game, then try to keep your players reduced down so that it's quicker and it's a lot more prevalent. Like, because you can watch Tim on his stuff when he has like 20 people show up. And some people, like, they're waiting.
I can push through combat like really fast because I've been abused by 10 people. So I can just be like, so I'll be like, I know that. Oh,
You have something you've been also doing is that we've been splitting up the party also, and like with me now having like I don't have like a very long attention span, right? So it's really hard for me to wait for those 14 people to go through their actions. So when we split up the party, and the party, like half the party plays for like an hour, and then you come back and you go back and forth between the 2 different groups.
keep the fellowship at the table.
It keeps it going.
But yeah, I will say having 10 people in one combat at one time is
We've done that.
Is difficult. It's difficult.
Tiamat was 30 minutes around, I think, is what I was. 30 to 40, no, it's 45 minutes around, because everybody was showing up, and we had 7 to 8 people. That was, I think that was our max. I think since then, it's petered out. Like the people that got bored or whatever kind of split, but I don't know. I like 8, but I would never tell the 9th person to go away. I don't know. That's just me. You know what I mean? Like,
you tell me to go away every time, Tim. You tell me don't go away all the time.
Hey, it's not Dungeons and Dragons. It's me versus Pete. So Mira, you've missed it. So we got another barbarian now, and they've defeated Tiamat. Have you been tracking? And they split. So like one of them is on like one side of hell, and the other one are on the other side of hell. It worked out.
No,
Mirren, Mirren,
you split us. You split us.
Manu, this Manu has become the more
Reasonable.
reasonable
Very pragmatic.
and more pragmatic. I'm like, oh, this guy can do way more damage than I can. I'm gonna sit back here and just Eldritch blast the shit out of things. I'm gonna do that. Like, I can take a hit, but he can take more hits than I can, and he can deal out more damage because Tim gave him 30 strength and a giant hammer. And
Look at the other's face. Look at his face.
There's no rest anymore. Here I am defending myself. The good thing you can do with the Avernus, right, is you go to a different type of world. There's no resting anymore, right? So your 250 hit points, that's what you got for the next.
You see, I reckon if you can have 30 strength, I reckon Connor can have 30 dex.
We're not set. I already gave you that, right? Do we have to go back? Bell is wearing the +2 somethings.
Connor as a rogue with 30 dex, rolling a stealth check means he literally.
Don't ask about that. If I hang on.
Aaron, his like his passive perception is like 75. His passive intelligence or investigation is like 64.
Aaron, if I go through, just obviously, this is why you won't want to play with this character. I'll be honest. Is right. He's got a 32 passive perception.
Two adults are talking over top of me right now. How's that?
32 passive perception. His stealth check already is +20.
So. literally, the only person who can probably see you is Asmodeus. Like, right. You roll a stealth check.
The thing is, I've also, because I've
his character sheet.
The interesting thing about it is because I've gone above, because I'm gone above level 11 rogue, I can't roll under 11 on a d20.
Yeah, because you have the jack of all
reliable.
Yeah.
No, reliable talent.
Yeah.
So I can basically anything I roll. So it always ends up being +11.
You don't have
minimum.
It's always a 10. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rogues are nasty. Rogues are nasty at higher levels. Rogues and bards end up becoming nasty at higher levels.
Yeah, because I've got because he's a rogue scout. He's a scout. He's got expertise in 6 skills.
Mm-hmm.
So he can basically he's hard to see, isn't he, Tim? He's hard to see.
What was that next thing you're picking up in the next level? Are you picking up a ranger? Or are you picking up a fighter?
Fighter level 2.
Another level of fighter, so he gets more.
He's picking up action surge.
Yeah.
How many attacks per action do you have right now?
If at first level, because the first round of combat, because I'm a Gloomstalker, I get 2 normal as my attack action. I get a bonus as Gloomstalker, and I get my bonus action because of crossbow expert. So I get 4 attacks. With action surge, I'll get 7 on the first round of combat.
Tim, oh, look at Tim's face. And I already know what that.
Take this dial of hit points and go.
Like, I already know what that equates to in amount of damage he's about to do, and it's like 350.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
Also, if we depends on what level we get to. If I get to level 19, I will be taking and I'll be doing the most boring fighter class ever, which is champion.
Yeah. Oh,
just because I
get 1920 on a crit. Oh, son
all I know is but I just killed Connor at level 17. First time in 3 years. I just want to.
And it only happened because he wasn't there, and he got thrown into lava
because he wasn't there.
No, last session I was there. I got put to 0.
Oh no,
I got
that's
put to
true.
0.
That's true. Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Not dead. I got both.
I've come back.
But that's because there wasn't any barbarians there to take that damage.
Well, that's your fault. Making choices. You made choices.
No, actually, that was the DM's.
That was a DM's choice.
Like, if you want to, like, because you can bring Connor back, we can do some things, bro.
Oh, yeah. There's permanent scars and there's all sorts of things. I mean, there's the constitution lowers. Hang on, what?
Well, there's a reason why I don't have an eye, but I have an eye.
Well, what I'll tell you is, you're in Avernus.
Yeah. I was gonna say.
Yeah, I would quite happily make a deal with a devil to come back. We find, don't worry.
You already did. You already made one, didn't you? For your glaive.
No,
that was to bring me back. That was to bring me back.
And you gave the glaive back.
I gave a legendary item to bring my friend back from the death.
And what did I get out of it? A legendary item.
There you go. Connor's not the selfish person that you're making him out to be.
Manu doesn't know what the hell he's doing with it, but you know.
If Connor goes to true character death, there's things you can do.
I do weird things for true character death. Who's died? Manu and Zesus. I think we're the only two that have like flat out died.
Like no shit. I was like, well, I'm pulling out character. Why? Here we go.
Arjun's floating out there somewhere too. Yeah.
Which that's all cool. That's all cool. I had to close that that plot hole because I had to close that plot hole. Whatever that was, like, I don't care that Argent is out there doing whatever his own thing, but because Manu sent Argent to get Uldar, I had to figure, it's like, where is Argent in this story? Yeah. Because
he went to hell and went and found himself a silver
yeah. That's fine. And that's fine. Yeah. Like, whatever it is, but it's like, we have to close that hole because my character literally sent that character to go get the other one.
You out, buddy?
I'm disappearing now.
Okay, we'll slowly end it.
Okay, I've just rolled 50 on my stealth check, so you can't see me.
You rolled a 10. I rolled a 10.
No. I decided to cast Pass Without Trace, and I rolled a nat 20, so I've got 50 on my stealth.
Nice.
Okay, if that's all right with you, Tim. If you can find me, it'll be fine.
All right, we'll see you on January 1st.
Yeah, have a nice New Year, guys, and hope you enjoy yourself.
All right, ciao. Hey, let's wrap it
Bye,
up.
Pete.
I think it was a good sesh. A good sesh before we digress too far. You got to pack it up and go make dinner. I got to start building dinner as well. Kara, thanks for hanging on as long as you did. Mirren, thanks for the legendary appearance. I mean, I'm not going to pressure you to come back, but...
Hey, I just want to say, Hope Bagel, thanks for joining us, and Happy New Year to you. First time chatter, and first time seeing them in the chat. So please follow us on Twitch, subscribe on the YouTubes, and
YouTube's to watch.
Yeah, click that link tree. Yep.
Yeah, but really the big thing is go to strongholdgaming.net, and that's going to take you to our link tree that has all of our stuff. It's going to have the Twitch, YouTube, Discord. If you're not in the Discord, it's going to have our Instagram. It's going to take you all of those places. Please follow us, sign up. Look at us there. Sundays at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 Pacific is when we do our Descent to Avernus, and then typically Fridays ish is when we do the Witcher campaign. So we'll try to keep our schedule updated as to when we're doing that, and then I think we're going to try to start doing this maybe once a week ish.
Yeah, I think this is good Monday's energy.
During the week, though?
We'll figure it out.
I think
Figure it out.
maybe
What?
because what we can very easily do is just do a Saturday,
Yeah.
a quick thing, but we can just dial in too. Like I can dial in.
Yeah. I could be building the next set,
Yeah.
doing the things.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's with us. For our sponsors or at least our friends, please check out RF. Shoot, I can't remember the name. Oh, well, Dungeon Delvers for one, Dungeon Delvers Gaming, and then RFL. Is it RFL?
This guy. Don't forget this guy too.
Yeah, yeah. I'm getting to that.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. You wrote a whole book. That's pretty cool. I can't read good.
I'm so sorry, Trent. I RFI Prince. Bah! Roll for initiative. That makes it easy.
That's what
RFI.
that means? I thought it was like request for information.
we're idiots. We're idiots.
I was like, that dude's definitely in the military.
So RFI Prince, that's Trent there, and then yeah, check us out. Our merch store. If you want any of our stuff, check it out there, and we will look to see you guys. Are we doing this? Are we doing Witcher tomorrow? Is that happening?
No, because I know that there was a lot of.
Tomorrow or Friday?
Well, tomorrow is Tuesday.
So, I mean, like.
Sorry, Wednesday. Sorry, Wednesday.
I know we have a handful of people, so
Potentially. Stay tuned.
there's a
Follow IG.
yeah.
Follow the old Instagram.
Yeah, follow Instagram. There's a potential for us to do Witcher again on Wednesday, possibly Friday. We'll let you guys know. Otherwise, we will be doing Descent to Avernus on
Sunday. Definitely
Sunday. Yeah. So we'll see you guys then. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Mwah!
Mwah.